By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Time to move? Skip the hassles of selling during the holiday season and sell your home directly to Opendoor. Request an all-cash offer in minutes, close, and get paid in days. You can even pick your close date so you can move after New Year's. Start your move at Opendoor.com or download the Opendoor app. Opendoor is represented by Opendoor Brokerage Inc., license 02061130 in California, and Opendoor Brokerage LLC in its other markets. Terms and conditions apply.
The holiday season officially starts when you get that first card in the mail. Shutterfly makes it easy to add more meaning to the everyday with hundreds of holiday card designs that can be personalized in seconds with your favorite photos from this year. Select your greeting, customize the color, and even add little extras like personalized foil to make a holiday card that really shines. Enjoy 40% off with code SMILE40 at Shutterfly.com and send something meaningful this year. See site for more details.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Red. I am not one of the Daves, I am Guy. Dave Davis, weekend host, is going to the game, the lucky bugger, so I'm here to step in for the morning lunchtime update just ahead of the game in a few hours time. So let's talk about the game. Playing Brighton at Anfield. We obviously played them in midweek in the League Cup. I'm guessing it's going to be a very, very different game. I believe both sides made 8 or 9 changes in midweek. I reckon it'll be completely different. Brighton are a very good side. I think they're sat in 6th at the minute in the league, or certainly around there. You've heard Carl and Dave and Dave on Daily Red separately from Scouted as well, talking about their options and the attacking numbers they have, and the attacking players they have. Like if I go into their predicted lineup for this game, just looking at some of the preview pieces. Verbruggen, probably one of the best, if not the best, young goalkeeper in the world. Joel Veltman, a bit more defensively sound right back than Tariq Lamptey, who had a bit of a nightmare the other day against us. Van Hecker's probably their best centre back now. It's not great. Igor, they're one of their big signings from last summer who didn't really work out, but he seems to be getting a chance now at least. Estupiñán a couple seasons ago was probably the best left back in the league. He had an injury hit time last year, and this year, to be fair. And they've obviously bought Kadioglu, I think I'm trying to pronounce his name, who also plays left back. So he's been a bit more rotated in and out the side. But I think Estupiñán's just really, really good. Once he gets into his rhythm, I do think he can be back up there as one of the best left backs, certainly as a natural left back rather than the centre back at left back thing. Believer, who is just a supreme talent, who I've seen linked with us this week. He probably will be one we'll be looking at. He just seems like such a great, versatile player. We could probably craft him or mould him into any type of midfielder we want, whether we want that number 6 or a box-to-box. I don't know about an attacking midfielder, but we certainly have options there anyway. Ayari, I've not seen loads of, but it's Brighton. They just spawn FM regens. Probably going to be class. Gruder, we saw against us midweek, obviously. I think he was the number 8. don't remember him doing too much, and considering Robertson didn't have the best game, might not be the biggest worry. I know they've got plenty of other wing options. I know they've got a lot of injuries as well. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see, because I think he was one of their big summer signings. So if he's getting this opportunities with the injuries there, he might actually have to take it. But it'll be interesting to see if he does play. Jorginho Rutter, he was the big summer signing. I wasn't sure when they announced that, but he's certainly taken to Brighton like a duck to water. Very good player by the looks of it. Yeah, they've done it again, which is great. Mitoma, we know, watching him week to week, and certainly what he's done to us in the past seasons, he seems to be a bit of a nightmare for Trent. Now, that is previous Trent, whose, let's just say, defensive work wasn't his priority. Whereas this season, he's spoken about him and Arne Slot, and I'm guessing the analysis team or whoever, or some coaches, have been so precise in the methods of trying to improve the players. And I think Trent was talking about how they go through clips and analysis and talking about what they do well in training and what they don't do well in game, which is obviously you'd expect at every club. But I think he was talking about how the detail is something he's not really experienced with in his time with Klopp at the club. So if this might be the biggest test for him so far, to see how well he has improved defensively. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I suppose he did play Rafa Leao, did he? I can't remember the Milan side. But Mitoma has been a very annoying player for us in the past. And Danny Welbeck, who started the season really well, you'd probably expected maybe Evan Ferguson would have taken that leap by now, but he's obviously struggled with injuries, etc. João Pedro's not there, who I think is a phenomenal player, who I think wouldn't surprise me if he's on a Liverpool list somewhere. But yeah, Danny Welbeck started the season really well. And I think he has scored past us in the past, or I certainly remember him winning that weird penalty a good few years ago where Robertson kicked the air in front of him. I'm pretty sure that was Welbeck. Bad memories. But they are a good side. They're doing so. I think they've only lost once in the league, and that was to Chelsea, where neither side could be bothered defending. So yeah, it's going to be a tough side, but just going on this as Anfield and looking at our squad that looked likely to go to be at the game. Kelleher, Yaros, Davies, Harvey Davies, the keeper, defenders Van Dijk, Kanate, Kwanzaa, Gomez, Trent, Conor Bradley, Robertson, Tsimikas. Midfielders McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Jones, Endo, Morton and Nioni. And then forwards, we have Salah, Diaz, Nunes, and Gakpo. I mean, for my money, you're probably looking at Kelleher starting, unless Yarrow was really that impressive. Yeah, he was that impressive, but I don't think Slot would make that call, but it would be Kelleher. Trent at right back, you presume. Ibu, Van Dijk. Left back's the weird one, isn't it? Because Robertson's obviously been the undisputed left back, well, since after his first 4 months at the club or something like that. But it seems now there might be actually a debate on it, because I'm not sure if it's the fact that Tsimikas is playing well, it's the fact that Robertson kind of isn't. And it's a shame to say, and you don't really want to dogpile on him. But like, take midweek, the defensive line, he just dropping so deep, and that's become a habit of his in the last few years, and we can't really afford that. Especially in a game, as I mentioned, with the playing against Mitoma and so much pace on the side, you can't really afford to take that gamble with dropping the line. Bukayo Saka kind of ate him alive last week, and Bukayo Saka can do that to any left back in the world. Let's not be stupid. But Robertson of old, when we were winning the 2 big pots, he rarely, if ever, got eaten alive. And that's kind of the level we're striving for. So put the math together. So I'd expect Tsimikas to start in this. I'd kind of like, if we had more options there, I'd kind of like Gomez back at left back, because I thought he was really good there last year, and we could maybe be a bit more defensively solid there, but we do have the best defence in the league, so Robertson and Tsimikas are obviously doing parts well, but if you're looking at it individually rather than the system, I think left back is the one that throws up a question. So I'd expect Tsimikas to start. Midfield, another one where you'd probably think there's a question. You'd expect Gravenberch to start. He wasn't in the squad at all midweek. I'd expect Szoboszlai to start. He came off relatively early, if I remember correctly.
So, you want to be a marketer. It's easy. You just have to score a ton of leads and figure out a way to turn them all into customers. Plus, manage a dozen channels, write a million blogs, and launch 100 campaigns all at once. When that's done, simply make your socials go viral and bring in record profits. No sweat. Okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. But with HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools, launching benchmark-breaking campaigns is easier than ever. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
At Sierra, discover great deals on top brand workout gear, like high-quality bikes, which might lead to another discovery. Getting back on the saddle isn't always comfortable. Good news is Sierra has massage guns. And chafe wipes, too. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. What comes to mind when you hear the word gratitude? Maybe it's a daily practice, or maybe it feels hard to be grateful right now. Don't forget to give yourself some thanks by investing in your well-being. BetterHelp is the largest online therapy provider in the world, connecting you to qualified professionals via phone, video, or message chat. Let the gratitude flow. Visit BetterHelp.com to learn more and save 10% on your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com.
McAllister kind of came on. Jones played the entire game, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong on that. But you'd expect Gravenberch. I'd say go back to the original one. McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai. I think as good as Jones has been, I don't think he can replicate what Szoboszlai does. And we kind of have to change the way we play. And I know there's a lot of criticism about Szoboszlai's on ball, but his running power is something only he kind of brings in that midfield area. So I think Szoboszlai needs to start as the 10, especially against better sides. Gravenberch, as I say, will like 90% play, you'd presume, with his midweek rest. And then I suppose in terms of rotation, is it Jones or McAllister? McAllister's obviously the better and more established player, but Jones's form, that midfield played quite well against Chelsea, if I remember correctly. I don't know why I'm speaking like Steve McLaren. Yeah, I'd say Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, definite. I'd pick McAllister because I think, well, Slot doesn't do rotation, does he? And I think that is the plan. And then the forward line, Salah and Núñez will probably play. I think Gakpo's in better form now, so I'd like to see him get a go, but I don't think it'd be a surprise if Diaz plays, so I'd just say Salah, Núñez, and one of the other two. I'd pick Gakpo myself. Yeah, it's going to be a fun game, I think. I hope it's going to be a fun game because I'm on Raw. I'm hosting Raw with Dave, Hendrick, and Mo Chapter, I believe. I won't give a prediction or anything like that because touching wood does not fix jinxes. But it should be a fun game. It's two good sides. We're defending well at the minute. We're attacking well at the minute. They're attacking well at the minute. So there should be at least goals in it. Hopefully we win. We can't really... Slipping up at home is different to slipping up away. We've already lost to Forest at home, so I'd like to go back to having that imperious Anfield that we had for so many years under Klopp. So yeah, it's win at all costs, really. I mentioned Darwin there. There's an interesting piece that I've had a quick look through there by Paul Joyce and our very own Hamza, helping out with the analysis, talking about Darwin. I won't go through the entire piece, but talking about well, it's titled "How Darwin Núñez Has Sacrificed Himself for the Greater Good of Liverpool." For Liverpool, it's an interesting point, and I think it's something everyone's looked at since he subbed on for Jota, especially after his rib injury. It's just a very stark difference, isn't it, from how we used to, or still expect Darwin to play. Dropping so deep and trying to link play and press everyone and everything in that midfield position. It's a impressive yet strange turnaround, isn't it? Because I'm not sure I ever expected it from Darwin. I didn't really expect him to be this type of player. But it's really good to see the development in someone like Darwin under a new manager, whereas the couple of years under Klopp, he was deemed the chaos merchant and all that buzzword BS. Whereas now he's trying to help us control the game, control the other team, and it is working. Would we like to see more end product and a bit more involvement? Yeah, of course we would. But if the off-ball develops and he can link the team together a la Bobby, I'm sure the end product will come. But as long as Moores keeps kicking, as long as Gakpo plays like he does midweek, he might be the greatest League Cup player ever. If Diaz gets back to finding goals, it's not the biggest issue, but we probably would like Darwin to score a bit more, and to get a few more chances. I'm not sure if it's still accurate, but I'm pretty sure I saw Simon Brundish tweet or put in one of the UP pods or groups or whatever saying he's now 100% on his big chances or something like that. I'm not sure if that's actually accurate, but his conversion rate is a much, much better. And that's the big issue with Darwin, is how many big chances he missed, and how costly it was at times. But if he's taking his chances in better areas and not shooting from stupid areas, that's great. We obviously know he did miss some big chances, like open goal type stuff at times, but we've not really seen that. Or I can't remember at the top of my head at this minute. We've not really seen that this season, but Darwin's, the development's great. Oh, he's obviously got the number 9 shirt for now with Jota being injured. But Jota wasn't really in the best form anyway, so if Darwin keeps this up and takes another leap in terms of end product, he could definitely earn this shirt. But it did feel like, I'm not sure, not trusted by Slot, but I think Jota was the clear number 9. He was clearly the first choice, and I don't think anything was budging that. Hopefully this little run at least puts a question mark in Arne Slot's mind, and does show we have options up front, which we all knew we had. But I think we're kind of seeing the Gakpo-Diaz one become a lot closer. So if the striker position becomes like that, that's fantastic. So yeah, Darwin's been impressive recently. Not the best source, but there is a article about Real Madrid buying Trent in January. It's Defensa Central, which I have no idea if that's a good Spanish source or not. It's probably not, let's be honest. It says Liverpool are willing to accept a fee of 50 million euros, which is about £42 million, to allow the right back to leave in January. I don't see Real Madrid paying that for a lad they'll get free in 4 months, 5 months. I just don't see it. Maybe a smaller fee, because I know Danny Carvalhal's missing all season, and maybe they're not doing too great in La Liga. Obviously got beat by Real Madrid quite heavily. I do apologise if you can hear the cars outside. But it's an interesting, because if he is going to leave, do we take, let's say, 20 million for argument's sake? Do we take the 20 million? Or is it just not worth that 20 million, keeping one of the best right backs in the world, we can then say goodbye to him and all that jazz at the end of the season properly, which would be very much a mixed feelings type of thing. But if we're sat here in January, still in the title chase, still in the Champions League chase, which probably will be, it might just be worth, look, we buggered this. We should have got this sorted 2 years ago. We could have then sold him or extended him, which there's still hope, I suppose. Yeah, I'd for 20 million, which I think is more realistic than something like 50. In January, especially, I don't think we're going to find a right back anywhere close to Trent. Like, not even playing the same sport as Trent. Now, there's some people who say just put him in the reserves and let Conor Bradley play. It's just not. It's just not going to happen, is it? And Trent, let's be honest, he's in probably 2 or 3 leagues ahead of Bradley at this minute. And if we are going for any big pot, it might be the best way to say goodbye to Trent. But the hope is he's still extended. He's the most unique. I think for me, he's still the best right back in the world. And I think he's even developing now defensively, which is going to improve him as the best right back in the world. So I don't think we can sell him in January. It's very annoying losing a player of that quality on a free transfer, or it would be. But yeah, the situation was buggered before Richard Hughes and Edwards and that came back, and we've just kind of got to deal with the awful hand we've been dealt. So yeah, hopefully he signs, and hopefully the other 2 sign as well, which basically you just got to add into every podcast now. Get the contract signed. How long have I been rambling for here? About 20 minutes. Yeah, it should be a good day. Pod-wise, there was a good few out yesterday. Dave Davis had a couple press conference, one looking at that. I think we had the actual press conference itself out from Schlott. Red Alert looking at October with Dave and his group. Scouser Tommies. We had Jan Mulby on Thursday. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything. Scouted on Thursday. So if you're listening to this before the game, which I presume you are, yeah, there should be some good pods to listen to. There'll be articles on the site. But we play at 3 o'clock, so enjoy the game, hopefully, everyone. Bye for now.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at AnfieldIndex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.